Hi, Joanna Hodorowska, Nutrition and Motion. Nutrition for body, mind, spirit, and sport. What I do is help athletes race better without the GI distress, cramping, or fatigue. So today I'm going to talk about how I use nutrition response testing for identifying some of the GI issues that my clients are having that are caused to food sensitivities and low energy foods for their body. So with the nutrition response testing, I have a whole nother 18-minute video on what that actually looks like. And it's really hard for me to do it myself, but it's something that I'm going to show you the energy of a food versus whether it's a positive energy for me or if it's a negative energy for me. And this is something that you could even do at home, but it's a lot easier if you just come in here and then I can test it, and I can always come up with more alternatives in terms of what will be helpful for you so that you can get the fuel for the event that you're doing and not have the GI issues too, because sometimes it's the food sensitivities that are causing the issues. So once we test whether a food has a positive effect on you or a negative effect, if it's a negative, chances are it's going to cause either GI distress, it could cause cramping, which is what I found out with one person. It was basically taxing their liver, and that led to cramping with any event that was over 5 hours or 5.5 hours. And it didn't matter what time of the year it was or anything like that. So I'm going to take a nice little weight. It's about 2 pounds, and I can this is comfortable for me, and I can lift it, and this is how it is that I can comfortably lift it. So if I'm going to choose a potato, this happens to be not baked yet, but a raw potato, I don't know if anybody's going to eat a raw potato while they're training, but if it's a cooked potato, I think it's going to have the same response. So I'm going to try it and see if this Yukon Gold potato, how that's going to give me energy, not in terms of calories, but actually energy, or if it's going to deplete my central nervous system and basically zap my energy. So if I use this, it's actually a teeny bit easier to lift that weight. I've got this whole nice little set of vials here that I have put various grains into, and I'm going to try a couple of them. So this one's spelt. So if I hold it against my body, I don't know if you can see this, but this one seems to be okay for me. This is millet. And if you notice, millet and me do not agree. It zaps my energy, and this is using the same amount of energy to lift the weight. I just don't have that strength or power. So chances are if I eat millet, it's going to do something negative to me when I'm training, when I'm racing, if I'm trying to use it as a recovery meal, or if I'm using it for a pre-race meal. Here is buckwheat. So if you can see the buckwheat, it has tiny little triangular little things, and it has no relation to wheat. It just has wheat in the name, but it's not even in that same family. So I'm going to check out buckwheat, which should be okay because my ancestry is Polish, and that's very Eastern European and very commonly used in that area. So let me test it. And that one for me also, I can lift it just like I normally would. It shouldn't have any adverse effects. Next I'm going to do wheat. So let me see with wheat, what does that do? And yeah, wheat and me, we are not friends. If I were, that's another video. If I were to bless it, then maybe it would work better, but that's why I use digestive enzymes. Amaranth, another ancient grain, which is supposed to be great, but it's not so ancient grain used in Eastern Europe, so chances are it's probably not going to work for me either. So let me see. Yep. Confirmation. Amaranth and me, we're not that good of friends. Same thing with quinoa, another ancient grain, great powerhouse food, but if it's bad energy and its energy doesn't agree with my energy, it's not going to be something that's going to be good for me, and it may cause GI distress. So that's what quinoa is for me too. So I do this with all my clients to find out, okay, well, what grains can you eat? What are the substitutions? Can we use real food? And then the next part is, bring in your bars, because the bars can also be an option that a lot of athletes use. But if the energy of the bar is not agreeing with the energy of you, you're going to have something that you don't want to have happen. It could be fatigue, it could be GI distress, it could be muscle cramping, it could be a whole slew of other things. So this one, it's a Now bar. It's got chia and raisins and a couple other great things, but it's not so great for me. Bonk Breaker. It's a very common bar that is used on Ironman courses. But if you've got sensitivity to brown rice like I do, it's probably not going to test very well. Yeah, and that one really kind of kills me. And for a lot of my clients, when they test negatively with wheat, then I always test for brown rice first, because a lot of times I've got clients that can't do either one of them. So if you have questions about nutrition response testing and how that works to help identify some of your GI issues and what foods you can or cannot eat, which ones give you more energy rather than zapping it, and when it zaps it, it means it'll give you some kind of a negative reaction, either GI distress or something other negative that you don't want, you want to schedule some time with me. The nutrition response testing only takes about 15-20 minutes. And you can schedule that by going to www.nutritioninmotion.net, and you could just call me, and we can schedule a time for you to come in and test to see if all the grains work for you using nutrition response testing. So if you've got GI issues and you're wondering if it's food sensitivities, nutrition response testing is a great way to do it. Joanna Hodorowska, nutritioninmotion.net, helping you finish strong rather than in GI distress and curled up at the side of the road throwing up.